So we have different type of businesses that we are using. We use the metrics management report where you have your SLAs, your KPIs, and you are measuring what have you achieved from your KPIs. Maybe let's say you have a KPI of $1 million sales and $100 million profit, or a customer rating of X, or employee survey of Z. So you can have multiple KPIs, right? You all of you have different KPIs in the business. And what this matrix management report basically will just say is, these are your KPIs, these are your results, and this is the variance. That's it, simple. So that is one way for the management to understand where are we compared to our KPIs. So we will understand how we develop the KPIs in a separate session. And then there are some dashboard type of reports where you don't mention the KPIs, you don't mention this, but you show them in a graphic manner. So these are more on a performance indicators, some very key performance indicators. Like your dashboards are not very busy reports. The SLA and KPIs, you can put all of them in one page or two pages or three pages. It can be multiple reports, but the dashboards usually are your system dashboard, which you can see on your one screen, laptop screen, or your mobile screen, which are only catering to five or six of the very key database, carry very key indicators, what you want to see in your business. So dashboard can be different for different managers. Maybe finance want to see different things, operation guys want to see different things, marketing guys want to see different things, a CEO want to see different things, right? So because it depends on where your individual focus is. So dashboard will be giving you the performance indicators on one page, but only three to five or five to seven metrics in the form of charts or graphs or anything else. And then you have balance scorecard reports, which is a one page report where you have your four pillars of your business: your customers, your employees, your finance, and your operational excellence. So you have these three or four excellence. I hope you are aware of balance scorecard. You have studied that, right, or not? All of you?
Nope.
No?
No.
Okay. Anyway.
I the balance scorecard for a long time ago for
Uh-huh.
hotels. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we will be touching base on the balance scorecard. So you can refresh you can refresh your memories. And for those who has not learned balance scorecard, we will be learning that. Okay. So these are the three, four type of business reports. So how, let's see data visualization. So the data visualization basically is the use of visual representations to either explore the data, means we are going to get more understanding, or just to make sense of the data, and also to communicate the data. Because if you are making hefty tables or giving them the data itself, they will not understand and they will not be able to do anything with it. But if you want to communicate that we are short of our goals, then instead of saying that our goal was $2 million and we are reached only $1 million, that is a bit difficult for a normal employee to understand, right? Because they cannot make sense of the big numbers. So what you normally do is you show maybe a thermometer and say, okay, this is my goal, how much I have achieved, half of it approximately. So that's easy to understand that we are behind our goal and how much behind we are. You don't need to tell them the exact numbers, right? So easy to communicate in the form of visualization. So it's just an example of different type of charts, different type of goals that we use for communicating the data or to explore the data. For example, you will see on one side, this is a like a speedometer. You will see, okay, how much where I am, but it does not really compare with anything, just there. Then you have some spider net diagram. Then you have certain other metrics, world map where we presence and how many males and how many females, and bar lines and graph charts, different type of charts, wavelength charts. So you have multiple type of charts for multiple things. So how we are using these things is we gonna learn now. So uh, basically these are some examples of few charts which are mostly used. There are multiple others nowadays, but these are the basic ones which I'm showing you. Um, so that you have an idea. So the bar chart usually is used for segregating the by person, by month, by days, and is one of the most used chart. Everybody has been using bar charts, right? Why what is the reason you use the bar charts for? Can you explain to me? Anyone?
Chart is usually used for the show comparison purpose.
Yeah, you use it for comparison purpose, or you can use it just to segregate the data, let's say by month, right? So
Yes, that
you
also
can
can.
give a series. What is my revenue for each month? So you can have one bar for January, one bar for February, one bar for September, right? Like that, correct?
Correct, correct, correct. And for the series, yes,
And for a
correct.
series. So it can be a single variable. Normally, is a single variable measured over a period of time. So when you want to show the time, let's say by week, by day, by month, by year, you use normally bar charts. That's easy to use. And as you were saying, you can even use it to compare. Means you can have two bar charts showing the budget and actual separately. Let's say for the month of February, how much was my budget, how much was my actual. So you can just show two bars, one for budget and one for actual in different colors, and then you can just do it. So this is the is it mostly everybody is easy is by default, mostly people are using bar charts for showing the financial numbers. So it's used mostly for revenue, for profit, for expenses, and these kind of things, right? Then you have another one is called histogram. Anybody has used histogram?
Histogram is I'm not much using, but that also is useful for the historical data to present on that.
No, no, it's not for historical data. The histogram, basically, the concept of histogram is to give you the ranges. Let's say,
Range with a different color in the same bar.
yes, no,
Yeah,
different color in the same bar. No,
no, that's the stack
that's
bars.
the stack bar. Yeah, that's a stack bar. So this histogram basically is to give you a range. Let's say you want to know how many, if let's say you have a population of 10,000 people, how many of them are between 0 to 10 years, 10 to 20 years, 20 to 50 years, 50 to 30 years, 50 to 100 years. So basically it gives you a range, and then it will say, okay, in 0 to 10, for example, here you will see 0 to 10, maybe let's say this is the age group. So maybe 0 to 10 is this much of number of people, and 10 to 20 is this much of number of peoples, and 20 to 50 is this much of number of people. So basically it will give you the number in a range on a 0 to 100 scale. So it's a frequency chart. How many times it happens? How many times people are scoring me 0 out of 5? How many times people are scoring me 4 out of 5? How many times people are scoring me 3 out of 5? So it's on a frequency. Number of peoples in a particular range. So that's the usefulness of this data. So this data is basically easy to tell you, okay, what is my highest frequency, where I am lying the most, and where are my, it's like, the bell curve. You might have used the bell curve, the distribution charts. So this is similar to that, but it's just a very simple visual representation of what the most people are saying and which people. So let's say if you are, let's say Mr. Trump is running into a presidency, and he want to see what age group is liking me the most. So how will he know? He will all, one way is to tell him in a chart, okay, 0 to maybe 20 to 30, 20 to 25 age range, these are the number of people how many you like. 25 to 30, these are the number of people. 40 to 50, this, either one way, or you put into a histogram, and then he will just look at visual, oh, this is the highest, means these are my the most followers. So it also help us to understand if there is any skewness, means any specific group is liking any particular thing more, or is gonna be is a flat, means everybody is liking it, right? So that's the usefulness of histogram. But basically you have to understand it, because I will ask you to think about examples and create these charts as a part of your assignment, huh? So if you want to know anything, you can ask. Okay, I move on to the next.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. Then there are another, this is another chart. It's called scatter plot. So these are the two, it's useful when you have two different variables and you want to understand the relationship between the two variables. For example, as you can see on the screen is unemployment and inflation. How does the inflation and uh, unemployment happens over a multiple period of time? Or you can say, what is the relationship between my sales and my quantity, sales price and quantity? What if my sales price, I when I increase my sales price, what happened to my sale? Is it increasing or decreasing? So you can see over a period of time, let's say in January, you can increase the price, and you can put different plots, dots, to say at this price how much I was able to sell, at this price how much I was able to sell. So the benefit of this type of chart is to establish the relationship between the two different things. So for example, in a hotel, we normally want to understand what happens when we are serving the check-in time is between under 3 minutes. Is my ranking increase? In my If my check-in time is between 3 to 5 minutes, what is my ranking? Is my ranking increase or decrease? If I increase my check-in time to 10 minutes, what happens to my performance score? So it gives me an understanding. If let's say there is a clear direction like this, then it means that there is a relationship between the two. If the data is all over, then it means there is no relationship. So basically this type of chart is used to understand if there is a relationship between the two variables or there is no relationship. So that's the easier way. Okay, then this is called a network analysis diagram. This is used mostly in type of like IT industries, or where you want to understand the clusters of your potential customers. For example, City Mart may want to, it may collect the data of the number of the peoples who are buying their products, or where they are delivering. For example, Grab, right? So they may want to understand which are the clusters of Yangon where most of the peoples are getting a pickup. So they will put on the Yangon the number of peoples on the number of peoples ordering, and they will be able to identify the clusters. So okay, maybe most of the people who get pickup from Grab is from Bahan. So they, what they will do, they will put more vehicles in Bahan, in Bahan township, right? So that's the easiness to understand the data on on a plot or a diagram by using the clusters. So this is easiness to understand the clusters and the most in a network. So if you want to follow certain peoples on the Twitter, where in which country your posts are being recognized. So let's say if you are running a Facebook program, you will see in an ad which countries are actually helping you, which countries the most peoples are reach, or they are liking, or they are clicking, so that you can target them more, right? So that's the easiness, that's the idea behind this chart, network analysis. Then another common chart which is used is the Gantt chart. This chart is, I think, if you have done any project management, or you have done any schedule, or you want to measure a progress of different type of things, you can use this type of chart. Who has used Gantt chart? Anybody has used Gantt chart?
Yeah, I use for the
Yeah.
project management too.
Yeah. So how you make the Gantt chart basically is you plot your number of tasks and your weeks, and then you say, okay, my original schedule was 67, original schedule was, let's say, 10 weeks, and now this is today, I have completed maybe 5 weeks of job. So means This chart, it will easily tell you where are you on your project, which tasks are behind your target, which tasks are ahead of your target. So that's how it helps, and to understand which tasks need to be focused on, what tasks should have already been complete but now are not yet complete, and which tasks are going to be important.
For
Sorry.
this one, we also give another name, that is a PIP, Project Implementation Plan.
Yeah, you can use any name, but the idea is the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is another data visualization. Now this data is not really like profit and loss statement. So for different purposes, we are using different visualization techniques. So these are available. Some of these charts are readily available in Excel. Some of these charts you have to make a specific. They are not readily available in Excel, so you have to make it from the system. Some are ready-made, readily available from the system. So they are maybe customized ERPs where you just key in the input and then it will give you the visualization easily. So there are different possible ways. Then you have something called heat map. Now this heat map usually is used in the I think IT industries where they are selling where the most of the risk happens. So you are putting the variables on sites and say, okay, where is the most heat, means the red zone means the risk, and green zone means no risk, right? So that's another type of example or the chart that is used. Then you have one more easy and mostly used chart is called time series, which is called the line chart also. This is also called line chart. And this is used to give you a pattern. I mean, you can use the bar chart as well to understand the pattern when it's going down and higher. But when you have to compare the pattern between the two different factors, let's say two different years, the bar chart will become very complicated, right? So the line charts are helpful in those comparison when you have to compare one or two different things at over a period of same time, and you want to understand by, let's say in this example we are learning what happens to my departures in 2010 and 11 in January, February, March, or by week or by month or by day of time. So this is how we use this time series chart. Okay, any questions? No questions.
No question. Actually,
Good.
we used to use the bars,
Uh-huh.
but see, I hope from this understanding now I can decide that which bar I'll choose for what
Which type
reference,
of chart? Yeah. So the
which type
type
of
of
chart.
chart that you are using, it makes it easier or difficult to communicate the data. So and easy to understand the understanding. So it depends on the purpose. Basically, the your chart would depend on the purpose, right? The next chart which is there is called step chart, which is you can call it snow on the ground. So these charts are useful when you want to display what is the increase or decrease over a period of time in your data. So for example, you want to understand, you have a static let's say number of customers, right? So let's say in the telecom industry, you will say I have, let's say in December I had 10,000 customers in my system. Now, how does it increase or decrease over a period of time? You can see it in a bar chart, or you can see it in a snow ground in a step chart to show when it increased, how long it remained stable, and when it decreased. Now, you can use easily. You can assume it from the bar chart. You can just put the number of plots in the bar, but it will not be as easy to see in a visual format compared to the step chart. So step chart is much easier when you want to understand how the data has increased or decreased, or what has been remained constant over a period of time. So this is another type of chart which you can use. You can use this bar chart, line chart as well for the same purpose, but it's a slightly different thing compared to
But
the huh?
for the step chart, can't we use the waterfall chart also? It's a similar like that, right?
Waterfall chart is used for showing the variances only. not for the whole value. So step chart is used for showing the whole value, but waterfall chart will be showing you the variances. So okay, yeah, you can use waterfall chart as well. For that means you will show increase and decrease from that, but waterfall chart is mostly useful and better for showing the variances. What has been the variance from the previous time? I think I have the waterfall chart as well. Uh, this is another called deviation chart, variance chart. So this chart is used for showing only the variances. So it doesn't show you the two charts, one for target and one for the actual, and you have to figure out is it low or higher, right? You have a choice to show only the variance. So which way is higher variance means you can now visually see easily in which months I am, or which countries or which areas I am below my target, and which areas I am above my target, and which are the highest variance means highest performers, and which are the worst performers, just by glancing it through. So this is another type of chart which you can use. It's a slight variation from your bar chart, but in a for a different purpose. Okay, then there are some different type of charts, for example like geographic chart. So if you want to see, let's say, the in which markets I am already present, you can see this the map chart. You have a speedometer to show where I am in terms of performance. So normally we identify that if you are falling below, let's say, 100%. Let's say you are saying that okay, I want to understand if I'm okay on my track or not. So if, let's say, you are supposed to get 50% of your budget, we will say you are not good, right? You are not on the track. If you are able to reach between 50 to 70% of your budget, you will be in yellow zone. If you are above 80% of your budget, you will be in green zone. So this way you can define the zones where you are green, yellow, and red, and you can just show your actual performance. Where are you in this range? Whether you are in the red range, 0 to 50%, 50 to 70%, or 70 to 100%. So the speedometer will just give you an easy identification to see that whether you are falling in the category or not. Similar thing you can depict by showing the traffic light. Means if you are meeting your target, you are on the green. If you are not meeting your target, you are on the red. If you are somewhere in the middle, then you can be in yellow. So there is no difference between these two. They show the same similar thing. The extra information it gives you, where are you, how much extra you are getting from the speedometer. But traffic light is just plain telling you very simple thing, whether you are did not achieve, on the track to achieve, or exceeding. That's it, finished. No other information is given here. So it's easy to see. And then you have another one called thermometer, which is measuring your temperature depending on how much you have achieved. So it's similar concept as speedometer, traffic light, and this. So thermometer will also tell you the same thing. If the weather is you are in the red zone, means depending on your performance compared to the overall. So the color coding is important here in these diagrams, because the difference which you are going to tell is by the color coding, that you are above your performance grade, in the range of performance grade, or exceeding your performance grade. So this is another type of diagram that you can use on your dashboards. These diagrams, these type of charts are used to save the space on your dashboard, so that you don't have to show the charts, or you don't have to show the tables. Okay, clear? Any questions so far?
Understand.
It's kind of a
Okay, okay.
speedometer or geographic map, uh, in which platform we can present it. It's mean what is the using Excel? Can we do this, or
Yeah,
any specific software do we have to use?
No, there you can do it in Excel, but you will just need to have a bit of formatting for that purpose. You can use the Excel.
I think
Also,
better
Mr.
to
Manish,
learn advanced.
Yeah, there are a
yeah.
bit of
Also, Mr.
additional like
Manish,
plugins.
how we can insert the map on Excel?
There is a
Because I
map. I
tried
think
to
there is
insert
already
the
a map.
Myanmar map, and it's very difficult to get into the Excel mapping.
I have also not tried. I will try to see if I can get it.
Okay.
US map is there easy, easy there. I think they already have that map in the Excel.
In default, yes, there is, and there are many, so many other countries too. But the Myanmar is very difficult to map onto that.
Yeah, so it's maybe because of the information which is available to Microsoft about the Myanmar.
Can be true.
So, but anyway, once Myanmar is in the more mainframe, then is maybe the Excel will give you the Myanmar map as well easily. But otherwise, for the time, yeah, it requires a bit of Excel programming to be able to create these charts in Excel. It's not that easy. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these are the tasks. So this is an example of a very simple dashboard. As you can see, there's only six. There are some extra charts, like type of charts here, which you can see. This is again another chart is log stack chart, which is on building on top of each other to just to show you where how much is the sales increase and what is it compared to the previous years. And you have a pie chart which we did not discuss earlier. The pie chart is just to give you a bifurcation of how much is the share of certain products in overall in a scenario. So this does, you cannot use pie chart for comparison. So I have seen people use pie chart even for comparisons. You cannot use pie chart for comparison. You can use only to share, to show the share of revenue or share of product in overall scenario. So how much is it
Like
compared to a total?
contribution of each product
That's
in
right,
sale.
contribution of each project.
And the pie chart is more commonly used for the share purpose.
Yeah.
Going to the shares.
And then you have another one which is called this bubble balloon diagram, which is showing you visually which is higher share. So as we said, we were discussing earlier the histogram, right? So this is another version of histogram. Basically it just show in different color and different ways to show the which product has a higher share compared to the others. So you can say customers between iPhone is used between at what range. So 40% are used between 15 to 25, then 25 to 35 is using 30%, 35 to 45 is using 10%, under 15 are only very little numbers, and above 45 is using very little again. So this is another type of diagram just to show a different age range, how they are using the Apple. They can use histogram as well, or they can use this type of diagram. This is more visually appealing. Okay. So this is a sample of a diagram, a sample of a dashboard. So there are certain things which are the characteristics of a good dashboard. So with here the
Dashboard,
good dash, sorry.
sorry. Dashboard, I think we can only create only the key indicators.
Yes, very key
Only
indicators.
very key indicators.
You can do only like five. As you see on the screen, there are only six indicators here, six things here. So you have sales amount, you have competitor information, you have continental sale, you have how many, what is the share of the different products, you have customers information, and then you have the revenue and the revenue from different products in Apple. So this is how they are showing. So you can choose what you want to see. There are certain best practices